Hello and welcome, and a new frequently asked question blog coming up. This one is about temporary workers, and it's inspired by my colleagues inside the Entrepreneurs Circle, an organization which inspires me, helps me improve, and helps me deliver great world-class service. And the question raised this time was about temporary workers, and I thought I'd cover some myths and folklore because some of the answers I got on the question were interesting. Some, in my opinion, were accurate. Some, in my opinion, were quite dangerous. So I thought I'd just cover that quickly for you here. Just to give you a heads up, this is not going to be a payroll education by any chance. So if you do want payroll advice, please consult with your accountant. And here's a quick accounting question. I'm taking on 2 students to an exhibition to help me next month and paying them £70 each for the day's work. The accountant says that we need to be added to the payroll for this and have a P45 sent to them afterwards for their payroll. It seems excessive to me. Are they advising me correctly? And nobody wants payroll, paperwork, and payroll is one of the areas that unfortunately comes with a great deal of paperwork, because not only do you have to take them on and put them on your payroll, which has a whole load of forms, but then you've got to take them off and give them P45s physically and all the other nonsense. So one of the things that cover this area, there are a few myths, and one of them was like students don't pay tax. That is a myth. Absolutely not true. Everyone pays tax if they're liable to pay tax. If you pay them for one day, they're casual staff. Absolutely dangerous and untrue. Please do not pay cash. If you are caught paying cash, you will be liable for the tax as if you'd paid them the net amount, and you'll get penalized. So, oh goodness me, please don't offer to pay cash unless you want to take that risk. And some of you might want to take the risk to avoid the paperwork. Others, I'm hoping, won't. Just get it done properly. It just keeps your business clean. The business picture is a bigger picture than saving 10, 15 quid on running a payroll. So I'm hoping you're going to an exhibition, if this is an exhibition, or the opportunity is a bigger picture than 10 or 15 quid extra to get this stuff processed properly. The quicksand stuff is really where, if you don't do it properly, the costs can be quite high. Not only if you hit an investigation and they found any of this out, and it doesn't have to come from your books and records. It could come from the student. They could be talking to someone, you don't know who they're going to talk to and what they're going to say, and all of a sudden you get investigated, and you are tied up for an hour or a day or 2 days or 4 days on a PAY investigation. I was recently involved in a PAY investigation where the client wasn't really doing anything terribly wrong, but there was a few anomalies, and it took 2 years to wrap it up. And I don't mean they were sitting there for 2 years, but 2 years, goodness me, and the anxiety for the client was horrible. Anyway, please just do it properly. No cash. Run it by the book, and you will find that it's a small price to pay, but I wanted to make that out. The costs, to payroll, to add them on, take them off, probably about 10, 15 quid per payroll. Take them on, put them on, and take them out under RTI now. So if you're running payroll, that's a good way to do it. Darn, where this slide came in from, but who are your customers? I'm going to cut this bit out. Now, if you are feeling brave and you want to run payroll yourself, there are lots of software. Some make it really much easier than others. Xero is the one we quite like, but there are many others that offer payroll solutions within the software. You can just add it on and run the payroll yourself. It wouldn't even cost you the 10 or 15 pounds per person to run the payroll and get these guys paid on time in the right way. So in summary, even if you pay £1 to someone, even if they're temporary, even if you never intend to hire them ever again, that is classed as payroll. If they come through an agency, the agency has to take care of the payroll. It's not your problem. But if you're paying them directly, here's one. There was. Let me just scroll back up to another slide I had here, which I want to cover it on. a myth, right, that you could just call them self-employed, and I suppose it's a myth and quicksand. It's a bit of both. It's horrible. So I'm going to flick through these slides just to keep you interested, because it is a serious point. And the point is this: if you pay someone as self-employed, remember it is not the employee's responsibility to pay the right amount of tax and be taxed correctly. It is the employer's. That is the big catch the revenue puts on employers like you and me. It puts all the policing down to you and me. It's not down to the employee. So you put them down as self-employed, and even if you were, even if you thought they might be self-employed, it is your responsibility to make sure. Just because they can be self-employed doesn't mean they should be self-employed for tax purposes. Here's the danger: you pay them as self-employed, and what happens next is the revenue go, these guys were employed. You took them on, you told them when to turn up, how to turn up, what time to turn up, you told them what to do, how to dress, maybe if they're wearing a uniform on the stand or whatever it is, but you control them. These are not self-employed people. And if they don't, God help you, if they don't even register as self-employed, you're even worse off. Goodness me, all sorts of problems coming your way if that's the case. So, so what happens then, if you treat them as self-employed, you become liable for the tax as if they were paid net. So just say you paid them, in this case £70 is unlikely to be a problem, but if you paid them £150 a week or £300 a week, and they should have been taxed as employees, that money you've paid them is deemed to be net, and you will have to gross it up and pay a salary, which may cost you between 30 and 50% more depending on how much you're paying them as self-employed. Hugely scary. Please, please, please avoid like the plague unless you are sure on what you're doing. So online accounts, so summary, don't treat them as self-employed unless you are sure they are truly self-employed and registered, and really it's your responsibility to make sure that they, in this particular post that you are about to employ them in, they are self-employed. If they're coming through their own limited company, much better, keeps you much cleaner, and even then the revenue is now putting responsibilities on you as an employer to deduct tax if you think they maybe should have been employed anyway, regardless of whether they're a limited company or not. It's horrible out there. It's horrible. But this is what the government's putting on us, right? We are easy targets as business people. We can be identified easily. We can be hammered easily, right? So they're putting all this policing on us. So, please be careful out there. It's not worth it unless, you are going to get a massive saving and you're sure you can take the hassle and the grief and the penalties that may follow as a result of getting it wrong. Resources, your accountant, your payroll bureau. The revenue site is much better now, but they're going to give you their story, and it may not always be a good one. Your accountant is best. There is a resource I can guide you to. It's called ukfab.co.uk is the site. It's my site, full disclosure, but it's free. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Just go on, download your book there, and you unsubscribe from the list if you ever get anything that you find annoying. I'm not interested. It's just a resource, because this is an FAQ. I want to just make sure that you have the resources if they're available, and that's a free resource that helps you understand some of the principles. It's not right up to date for the new government changes that have been announced, but you've had that on this video. Next steps, get advice, do it properly. I think the gentleman who raised this question is already agreed to do it properly, which is fantastic. The reason I raised the FAQ is because some of the comments that came after that were addressing these areas of danger that I brought up today, and I wanted this to be an alert for the community at large, but also the wider community that accesses my video blogs and stuff, which is cool. So hopefully that's been of help. I get a bit passionate, a bit carried away. Please accept my apologies. Well, I will carry on doing it regardless of whether you like it or not, because that's the way I am. I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do, and such is life and the penalty I have to pay for being interested in saving money, keeping my clients safe, and helping them grow their businesses and create wealth. If you need any help, which is available to you on the site, there is a 10-minute quick fix call if necessary for those of you watching the FAQ, and there's the website on there if you need any help. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care of yourself and business. Excuse my ranting. Take care. Goodbye.